Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey guys, welcome back. I have an awesome guest, as you see right here, Miss Ina Mlekush, and that's Ina Simply Speaks, and she has a private practice in Phoenix, Arizona. And today we're doing this live Zoom, and she does international sessions through Zoom. She does in person. She does honest talk, marriage, relationship, sex counseling. If you guys have heard her show before, you guys will not be let down. She has incredible information and is incredibly well-spoken when it comes to topics like this. She works with traditional marriages and she works with open lifestyles. So she is only one of 14, by the way, one of 14. She's a senior teacher of Shulakwe Kadoshka, which is a spiritual sexual workshop, and it's based on ancient Mayan shamanic traditions. I hope I said that right, Miss Ina. Hey, Miss Ina, welcome back to the show. It's so nice to see you, to meet you visually here.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Thank you. It's nice to actually have a person I'm talking to.
Right. And you're only, I'm so taken back that one of 14, you keep integrity into these workshops. Can you tell us just before we get started on today's awesome topic, a little bit about that?
Well, the easiest thing is we actually have some workshops taking place this coming March here in Phoenix, Arizona. And this body of knowledge was handed down from an oral tradition to my mentor, who's no longer with us. And then he was given permission to somehow make it palatable for a modern audience, which it became the workshop format. This actually was a natural part of teachings that the young people received, hundreds, thousands of years ago. Wow. This is ancient knowledge. And so in the workshop format, where you can actually take 3-4 days, and you get a hotel room, and you can come as an individual or a couple, and we share this knowledge with you. Now there's 4 levels of this, and we start at level 1. And the reason there's so few teachers worldwide is because we don't just have to learn about sacred sexuality. We have many other we need to learn about crystal doctoring work. We need to know how to run a sweat lodge. or a purification lodge. We need to know about vision quest. So this is a shamanic path, and it's not learning one thing and running with it. It is having a foundation that is like not being your doctors. Okay, a doctor may become a general doctor, but then if they want to specialize, then they have so many more years they have to train with hands-on experience. And so that is what is required of this body of knowledge. And so most of us, it's around 20 years.
Wow.
Before we are given our wings to say, you can go out into the world and present these teachings. And so we do present them worldwide, and the home base is here in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's just a little bit, but that you can go on my website, ina@spiritualsexuality.com, or the short version is ina@talktoina.com. They both get you to the same place. And I have a whole pages of what is Shulakwe Kadoshka, and a calendar of events worldwide. So your listening audience can find out more through me.
Awesome. Thank you, Ina. So you have a great topic today. Today, your message is going to be, it's about transparency in relationships, first with self, life, and others. Can you tell me about it, please?
Absolutely. So I don't simply speak. I am speaks simply. So it has a whole different connotation. So I will try to speak simply, because I've also been known as long winds, laughing winds, passing winds. So there's a lot of humor in this arena that I'm in.
I love your attitude.
Thank you. So, we're asking for transparency. from our world leaders, from our governments. And first, we need that honesty and transparency. First, it's with self, then life, then others. So we need to bring that into our personal relationships. We need to learn to trust that honesty really is the best policy. Because, if I'm a big girl, you don't have to protect me. I'm not a child that you have to lie or sugarcoat, and talk about that in a little bit. So I would much rather, and this was my agreement with my husband. I said, one of my baseline agreements is you are always honest with me. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you have a gambling problem. I don't care if you ended up sleeping with our best friend and you didn't use a condom. I might not like it.
Right.
We all have our bottom lines. Mine is I can navigate almost anything if you come and tell me first, if you're honest with me, because I have clients, couples that come to me and the truth comes out and they said, so for 25 years, we've been living a lie. We've been keeping secrets. That hurts far worse than if you just I made a mistake. I blew it. I want to come clean. I want to navigate this. Life is long. We're both going to be making mistakes. Can we love each other enough to forgive each other? I mean, if Christ could forgive them, Father, they know not what they do, as he is nailed to the cross. Can we forgive our partners for making a mistake?
You told me that when we were talking about it last week, you said that a lot of clients, that's the biggest hurdle to get over, is to be completely honest, like you're saying. And you're saying you got to do it self first.
Yes.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. You know what's difficult about self honesty
What?
is that it might mean we have to admit we're wrong.
Oh.
We might get a God shot and realize, oh my gosh, I've not only been wrong this time, I've been wrong for the last 15 years. So honesty means we're going to evolve, we're going to grow, our soul is going to develop. But we have to be honest with ourselves first and be willing to take responsibility and be spiritually accountable for our thoughts, what we say, what we do, and we know we're going to make mistakes.
That's got to be. It's tough to really look that honest in the mirror and see your faults and admit, like you said. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of introspection there. I see. I must imagine that's the first step.
And it deals with your emotions. So sometimes men take a longer time to connect with their emotions. Nothing wrong with it. It's how God made you. So we have to put a little masking tape over our mouth. I'll sit like this while my husband while I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for him to respond to my question. With women, man, we can pop because our emotions are right there. But when you ask a man a question, don't give him multiple choice. Because two questions. Again, some of this is from Alison Armstrong, which is a woman who's done a tremendous amount of work, and I just always like to acknowledge the work she has done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were telling us about her, and she was very important to you becoming who you are. So tell us a little bit more about that. You said that. Tell us more about how it starts with us, and you've made incredible sense. I'm thinking about that now. Just what you said. Now it's kind of taking me a little bit more to think about. But yeah, please let me give it back to you.
Yeah, sure. So one of the things about relationship, it is one of the most powerful ways for us to evolve and grow. And in this day and age, monogamy is still kind of has, it's still the stamp of approval, and it requires the most amount of death and change for you to evolve and grow. I mean, it's like the phoenix. Sometimes the relationship has to just burst into flames so something new can come about. And if you can navigate that and not get divorced, then you get on the other side of that and you can be more in love than ever, but from a more mature place. There are individuals that I work with, and they are in what I open relationships. So they may be married, they may have children, and they choose to be sexual with more than just their partner. And there's so many ways that that can be. I mean, there can be open lifestyles where there's parties and activities. Hopefully safe sex is always, done. It's not always done. Open could be you just have another couple or one or two couples maybe that you engage with and nobody else, and people test to be sure that safe sex again is being practiced. Open can mean many, many things, and people have to create agreements. So when we make an agreement, the agreement has to be first with ourselves. Can I live with what you're asking? And I might say, I don't know. This is so new for us to explore. Either if you've been open, it may be exploring monogamy, or if you've been monogamous and now you're 60 or 70 years old and you want to explore being open. Any age, it doesn't matter. It is they're not afraid anymore of living life and exploring. And a good agreement is, I don't know. Let's play. Let's try it for a month or two. Let's try 2 or 3 experiences. Let's talk about it, because I don't want to make an agreement and have it locked in cement and then realize I crossed my own soul. I crossed my own integrity. I cannot do this. And I help couples who, when they realize that, and one person cannot do it and one person wants to, how do you navigate that? There has to be a give and take. Someone has to give a little, someone has to let go of a little in order to keep the relationship and agreements healthy. So an agreement is no different than a contract we make. If the contractor is not doing what they said they're going to do, we, rather than bring them to court, that's called divorce, you go to a mediator, you help to renegotiate that contract. So it has to be with yourself first. And if you're not sure, then be honest. I'm not sure. I hear you really need this and want this monogamy. I told you from the beginning, I love you. I want to commit my life to you. We're raising children. We have grandchildren. I have never naturally been monogamous. I feel like I die inside. I need a little variety as a spice of life. And the agreement we made is that we never sleep with anyone overnight, that we always meet the other partner, that they're respectful. Sometimes we go out to dinner together as friends. See, it could take on anything that honors the agreement and honors each other, be it monogamous or open.
I see. And in your experience, is it hard? Is it harder mostly if someone's feeling like they're being pressured? Does that happen a lot when people want to try new things?
Well, I don't want to say a lot. Yes, it does happen. And one of the reasons it happens, because we as women want to please our man. It's our DNA from cave woman. We want to please our man. We want to nurture his dreams and our children and the cave. So anytime a man asks something, we will turn ourselves into a pretzel to honor that, to respect that, to make it happen for him. And if we women can understand that a man will do anything, your DNA as a man, caveman, if you love us, you want to protect us and provide for us. Mm-hmm. And you can't therapize that out of us. It's our DNA. So when a man is asking for something, we will turn ourselves into a pretzel. So if you men can understand and say, honey, I don't want you to turn yourself into a pretzel. I realize that if you could, you would. Let's talk about how we might be able to put a toe in the water and then talk about if it works or not.
I see. And is it the real hard part is to make these agreements that both can keep? Do you see that breaking down a lot? Is that kind of before you put the toe in the water, do people tend to promise more than they can really give because they don't know themselves?
Well, first of all of that happens before they get to me.
Gotcha.
All of that takes place, which is what is opening up Pandora's box. Then they don't know how to navigate it until they're on the brink of divorce. please don't wait till you're on the brink of divorce. I mean, I can do magic in my office. That's what my clients say, you know, and come to me before then, because if you can talk before then, I can help you. So I have couples come to me who say they're thinking of opening up. They're thinking of closing the relationship into monogamy. We would like to come and talk to you. And I go, thank you, thank you, thank you, because you're saving yourself a heck of a lot of money in therapy, and you're saving yourself a lot of broken hearts and unhappiness. So, you know, education is the key. Education.
Yeah.
And it's with ourselves. And then life. We influence our life. We create our life. We are the conductor of our life. So first we have to make agreements with ourselves and educate ourselves so we can conduct this amazing, colorful orchestra that can have drama in it. You know, it's got the ups and downs,
Right.
you know, but we realize we take responsibility. There's no but there. We take responsibility. Yeah. So if our life is not going the way we want it, we have to stop and go, whoa, I pray. That's my go-to. I pray. I'll say, okay, my life is not how I want it. Am I in the big I with the ego I, or am I need to get back into the little I and saying, not thy will be done, not mine. You know, God, please, you know, where do I need to be? The right place at the right time. When do I need to be quiet? When do I need to speak? And to really live one's life transparent and honest. And you can live in the grace of God no matter what's happening, because there's a lot of horrific things happening.
Oh, yeah.
There's, you know, just horribly. But how about one person can make a difference first in your relationship and start living it? Then you'll recognize when others are not being honest. You'll recognize when they're not transparent, including our government, including world leaders, but recognize it first with yourself. So integrity. I can't ask you to be something or do something that I'm not willing to walk my own talk.
That's a great point. And maybe that must have something to do with people saying that you work magic in there, because that's it's tough to walk the walk in what you're saying. And, you know, for people to be so honest with each other. Remember, you were saying that you got to tell this other person everything, or else it's going to cost you money and it's going to cost a lot of hurt. And is that about vulnerability?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, vulnerability is where we find our greatest strength. And we think that it's a weakness. It's not. The bravado is a weakness. Having to be tough is a weakness. You know, my way or the highway. That is just a big bad wolf huffing and puffing, because that's what he or she thinks is going to work. But it doesn't. What works is actually, don't sugarcoat what you're saying. Don't huff and puff what you're saying. First, get clear with yourself. What do I really need to say? And when I experienced that personally, I was like in my 30s, and I'd always sugarcoat because I wanted the other person to agree with me. Okay. I wanted to win. I wanted them to agree with me. And what I discovered was I was having like these words being spoken in my mind. And I now know it was spirit giving me the words that needed to be said. And I was going, I can't say that. That's like too honest, or that's, you know, they'll never agree. And so the big ego got in because it wasn't my way. When I finally started saying the words exactly how they went into my brain, I was speaking the unspeakable. I wasn't sugarcoating them. I wasn't huffing and puffing them. And it was, I went below the layer. It's like, I'm really scared, or I'm really hurt, and I'm feeling really vulnerable even to share this with you. You know, we don't even have to know what we're going to say. We can just say, I don't know what I want to say. I just want it to be truthful. Give me a minute. And then just be quiet. Let God, let Christ, let Buddha, let Bukamtanka, Great Spirit, speak to us. and then say it, and don't, and you just got to keep doing that. And then you find after a while, oh my gosh, they understood what I wanted to say. They don't always agree with me, but they understood it. There's no arguing, no fighting.
Yeah, that's almost growing together, I guess. But can you tell me a little bit about learning phases? Because you were just talking about when you were 20 or 30, that's when you started to really get honest and get real. Can you bring me into that a little bit more?
Well, it's different for all of us. And some of us our soul chose to be here and is seeking, and we outgrow our partners oftentimes. We're seeking wisdom and knowledge. And one of the things about learning, learning about speaking the unspeakable, we have a teaching called the mistakes wheel. And again, this is a shamanic teaching wheel. I'm not sure where we're at time. I'm not sure if we're supposed to be taking a commercial,
No,
so,
Mr. Producer, we go right through, right? Yeah, no,
okay.
we got time. We have. Okay, we got 5 minutes but I want to hear about this wheel of learning. This is neat.
Okay, 5 minutes. This is going to be a good one. Okay,
all right.
So first of all, we have to be willing to make mistakes. I hate making mistakes. Anyone who likes making them. We have to be willing to make mistakes, and eventually to gain pleasure and knowledge, because you don't want to just gain knowledge without pleasure, because after a while you go play hockey or go shooting on the range or do something else. Pleasure has to be a part of the learning about making mistakes. Then second, we need to learn from the mistakes that we made. So we need to learn and then not repeat those mistakes if at all possible. Stop marrying the same woman. She just, her hair is different, but bottom line is, oh my God, I married the same person. Don't do that. We need to learn from the mistakes of others. So Casey, if you see someone driving and there's a pothole and their front wheel goes into it, they pop it, they pull over if they can. Are you going to drive into the same pothole?
A lot of us do.
Yeah, in relationships, emotionally, mentally, we do. So learn from the mistakes of others. We don't have to learn by making our own mistakes all the time. Now, the big one is learn from the mistakes of your teachers, the people you respect, from your parents, the mistakes that your teachers make. And I mean, big time teachers, or from our world leaders. Learn from the mistakes of the world leaders, because their mistakes are huge.
Mm-hmm.
They are criminal. They are huge. And so learn from them, because the mistakes that we make are our greatest teachers. If we're willing to admit it, if we're willing to say, oh my God, I have just really blown it. Mm-hmm. And I have done that at times in the middle of a workshop, when I realized that I had disrespected somebody in something I shared, and I got it. And as soon as I could, I went up to that person. And, well, actually, I did it publicly, because I said this to so-and-so, and I got a kick in the butt from spirit saying I disrespected. So I'm sharing right in front of everyone. And I'd say, I apologize to you. And I mean, when I do that, it's because I mean it.
Yeah.
I don't put me on any effing pedestal. I'm human.
Right.
Inside the medicine wheel is where everything is possible. And this is where we learn without making mistakes.
See.
We learn, and now that's pretty much enlightenment. That's pretty conscious. We can learn without making mistakes, but you have to walk this wheel. You have to make as many mistakes and joyfully. My greatest fear now is not making mistakes. It's complacency. If a relationship is not growing, if it doesn't hit hard edges, if you don't have to negotiate and recommit your love, no matter what the lifestyle is, monogamous or open, if a relationship is not growing and challenging you, it is dying. You may be on a pedestal or on a plateau for a while,
right?
Which everyone needs a little time out. But if you're not growing and evolving, it's dying. So you're going to lose the relationship anyway, due to mortality. you're friends, you live as roommates, but that spark and that passion and that desire to really be with this person, it takes work, no different than a good career.
Yeah. It makes so much sense, because not only do you lose the relationship, but you lose time, right? That's important.
Oh, thank you, Casey. Time is the most valuable, precious thing we have. And if you look at it, we only have today. My husband went to leave. We weren't going to give each other a hug. I said, "Are you leaving the house now?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "If I never see you again, if something happens to you out there, I want us to say goodbye with a hug. Let our hearts touch each other. Let us open, because we only have today. And I don't even know if I have the whole day. I have now."
It's such a great thing to think about and to really be conscious of. Ina, I could pick your brain forever, but we're out of time. Let me give you the floor here, and tell people how to get a hold of you. I can't wait to the next time that we speak. I got some great stuff, and one thing that I will remember is that today, and I think everyone else should remember that too.
Today, be honest and be transparent.
Gotcha. Ina, how do we get a hold of you?
Yes, you can reach me at my name, Ina, at talktoina, TALKTOINA.com, Ina at talktoina.com. My website, it could be the same. It's simple. It is talktoina.com. Not Ina at, it's just talk to Ina. Spiritualsexuality.com also. A lot of words, a lot of letters. And you can text me, you can call me 623-465-9151. When I am in Arizona, 623-465-9151. When I do Zoom internationally, from gosh, I have done Sweden, to Florida, to California. We now have access. We can work with each other. And thank you so much for listening to the show. And please share it with your friends. Let them know that we're just starting. And blessings. And for 2022, hold on. There's lots going to be happening, and in God's timing, not ours. We have to remember, in God's timing, not ours.
Awesome.
Casey.
Thank you so much. And same to you. Wow. You're a great guest. Thank you, guys. We'll be right back. Thanks, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.